I'm coming to you from Hyde Park in sunny Tampa, Florida. It is January 7th, and I'm super excited for 2020 because it's all about trying new things. So I've been working part-time at Sur La Table in Hyde Park Village and getting lots of new gadgets and toys, like this new mixer. And so what I wanted to do was make pasta for the first time, and of course I have to shoot a video so you can watch all of my silly mistakes as I do it. So we're going to start off measuring our dry ingredients, and I have this handy dandy scale, and I'm going to put this on and tare it. Now, I watched a lot of videos online about how to do this, and then after that, I just kind of checked out and said, okay, let me just do it. Better to get started than to keep watching a video. Of course, if you can't tear into something, you're just going to have to cut into it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so my first job is to measure out 300 grams of flour. Now, I could measure cups, but the one video I watched said that it's a lot more accurate if you do it this way. So we're measuring. We're up to 121 grams. $190. Yeah, I spilled a little on the scale. Okay, we're at 275, so now I'm going to add a little bit slower. 286, 302. Okay, close enough. That'll be for that little bit of powder I left on the side. I'm going to pour it straight into the mixer. All right, the next step is to get our eggs. Okay, so I'm using cage-free brown eggs, and my recipe calls for 185 grams of wet ingredients, but the lady suggested that I do 2 eggs, 3 yolks, and then add water to make the difference. So let's see how that works out for me. So we have 1 egg, 50 grams, 2 eggs, we're at 100 grams. So I bought this little thing. It's a yolk separator. I don't know what I'm going to do with the egg whites. I've heard they're healthy and the right thing to eat now, but I'm not into all that. All right, so I have 1 egg yolk. Ooh, that's very nice. Look at how that, nice. And we'll try to cut the edge off there. Okay. 1 egg yolk in. All right, and we're at 125 grams. We're going for 185 with 2 eggs, 3 yolks, and then the rest in water. I don't know how to make that go away. All right, how about I just do that? Ooh, now it's a mess. That's why I wore black today, so that you can see how messy cooking is. Ooh. Don't laugh. All right, let's see if I can get that. Just get this yolk here. We're at 142. Ew, gross. Oh, that was a disaster. Okay, I lost half of that yolk, and I left some of it on the scale. Ah, it's a mess already. All right, but we're at 148, and the rest I'm supposed to get in water, 185. Okay. All right, and all I'm gonna do is throw that right into the mixer. Now I've been doing what most people do. Oh, my scale is filthy dirty now. I've been watching YouTube videos about what to do, and I'm supposed to do this for 30 seconds. Joe, I'm gonna scoot over here and wash my hands. then I'll dry them. All right, things seem to be mixing. It's like a little crumbly, like I think it's supposed to be right now. All right, now I'm gonna turn it off, lower this thing, and I'm gonna change paddles. If I can. I got lots of dough on there, so let me see if I can get it off. This is very difficult. So far, so bad. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm doing it with you so that we can laugh about it later. Okay, now supposedly, I don't know where to put all my messy stuff. Move it out of here. Now I put in this other hook, the dough hook. Okay, and it's pretty straightforward to put it in there. Pull the mixer back up. And then this goes for 2 minutes. Now I'm going to set a timer for this because I don't know if I can accurately do 2 minutes. And I get this dough off my hands. But you can't see in here. It is making a nice dough around the dough paddle, and it's scooping around and gathering up all the loose flour. And I'm just supposed to be seeing it make its way onto the dough hook, and it's doing it. All right, let's clean up a little bit, because our next step is going to be to put some flour down. We keep getting our hands dirty to buy eggs. And roll and knead our dough a little bit. So I'm going to scatter a little bit of flour here on my butcher block. Get this crumbly stuff off my hands. Check the timer, which has a minute left. But it looks like dough. It's a nice little dough. Oh, it's super exciting. Oh, I'm not actually wearing a lot of dough yet. Coffee break. All right. It looks awesome. Now I didn't put any salt in there. Seems to be a little debate about whether it should be salted or not. And I'm thinking as long as I salt the water when I'm going to boil the pasta, I think we'll be in good shape. But here's the tricky part. This is the part where I take off my rings, I think. And I get ready. Take my dough out. There's the timer. I jumped the timer. And pull out this nice sticky ball of dough. Wow! Look at that. And what I want to basically do now is knead it about 40 times. Not too much, not too little. And I'm going to pull it over and fold it in on itself. Now, remember, this is my first time, so I don't know what I'm doing. Fold it and roll it back in. And this is number 3. Roll it back in. Fold it. Roll it back in. Fold it. Looks really pretty though. And the way the dough feels, it's nice and soft. I feel like I'm kneading one part of it a little more than other parts, so I'm gonna fold it, roll it, fold it. If I knew how to work my camera better, this is where I'll speed it up. Might go to edit. All right. So we're a little over halfway there. We're being nice and gentle with it. I'm not fighting the dough. The dough is my friend. Feels really nice though. Feels pliable, but a little firm. And I don't really feel like I'm getting a workout. I feel like my sleeve could come up there. Fold, press. Fold, press. Fold, press. I know it's repetitive. We're trying to make really good pasta here. Okay, we're getting close and I can feel it's feeling a little more sticky. So I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit more flour. I don't want too much flour. All right. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm gonna press it out and I'm gonna do what I saw in all the other videos. I'm gonna cut it into 4 pieces. And then I'm gonna roll those into plastic and let them hang out for about 30 minutes. All right, I'll see you back here in 30 minutes. I'm gonna take a walk because it's a beautiful day. All right, we're back and we're ready to roll out our pasta. I took my walk and talked to my best friend Julie and my sister Amy and texted with my daughter Carolyn, and now I'm unrolling the dough. It's pretty sticky, which I expected it would be my first time around in pasta land. So I know that I need to add a lot of flour just to make it behave and cooperate with me. And I want to get it to about the thickness of a pancake, which that's what it looks like to me. All right, so let's put in the first attachment. This is the one that is going to roll it out to the thickness that I want to cut it into noodles. So we put this attachment in some mysterious way. It should just go right in. Okay. And then I twist in this knob to tighten it. I don't know if you can hear the music. Having a little cooking party here today. Get it tight. Okay. Now let me make sure I have enough flour here because I am going to be coming back and putting flour on it pretty consistently so that it's not sticky. All right, I put the mixer on 2 and we start. Here we go. What? All right, it's looking like too much flour to me. So I'm gonna fold it. I'm gonna do setting 1 4 times. Because that's what I read on the internet. Ah! Things have gone amiss. All right, something is wrong. I don't have this on tight enough or something. Okay. Pasta. Ah, I hope it's worth it. It will be, right? Okay, here we go again. Let's hope I tightened everything tight enough. Come on, be my friend. We're working together. We're on the same team, pasta. Team pasta, go. Okay, I'm gonna add a little flour. Just really worried about stickiness. Everything I read said that that's gonna be my enemy. it's sticking in there. So, as you can see, I'm already nicely covered in flour. Delightful. All right. So now we're going to start rolling it a little thinner. I'm going to switch from setting 1 to setting 2. There's some Pandora commercials here. Here we go. And I'm going to do this twice. Pretty nice. All right, I'm going to lay it out. A little flour. Okay. Go to the next setting. 3. Look at how long it's getting. Catching it on my hand. I think we roll it out twice because it shrinks after you roll it, and so you want it to kind of really stay at the length that you're aiming for. This is not first-hand knowledge on my part. Wow, this is very exciting. All right, so now we're going to start, I'm going to just put a little more flour. I'm going to get this guy ready from sur la table where my pasta can rest. Put a little flour on there. I'm going to cut it in half because I think it's going to get a little long for me. Okay. All right, so we're going for setting 4. And we're only going to do this once. I may have a flour issue called too much. Let's see if I can rest this little baby on here. Okay. Now we take the next one. Okay. Now we're ready to cut some noodles. So let me let this rest here for a second. Okay. We're going to turn this off. I'm taking off the thinner attachment. And now I'm going to put on the noodle attachment. Let's see if I can put it on and actually have it stay on this time. Push it all the way in. Tighten the screw. And we're coming up on the grand finale. This is where we turn it into noodles. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I'm nervous. Okay, back on speed 2. I got my cutesy little pasta. Still think it has too much flour on it, but can never be too cautious. I'm going to start feeding it and I'm going to catch it. And I am amazed. Look at that. Wow. It's like thin spaghetti. And it's just resting right there, drying out. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Okay, the next one. And I'm catching it and letting it do its job, its work. All right, this is a messy endeavor. A lot of pastas dropping on the floor. But I'm really excited because look at this pretty, pretty little piece of spaghetti that I've just made. from scratch to finish. All right, so the next step is to let this dry out a little bit, then boil some salted water, and voila, we'll have pasta, homemade and fresh, ready to go right here in Hyde Park in Tampa, Florida. Thank you all for watching me today. Okay, I'm back, and while I was gone, I rolled out the rest of the pasta and then cut it into these beautiful spaghetti strips. Isn't that exciting? But I can't just eat pasta for dinner, so tonight I'm also going to use my new meat grinder attachment to make meatballs. And I went to a local store, it's called the Boozy Pig, and there's a butcher there, and I said, I don't know what I'm doing. But I know what I've read online, and so we talked about it, and we're doing about 2.5 pounds of pork to about 2 pounds of beef, and he cut it out so that it has a ratio of 30% fat to 70% meat. So I'm super excited. He cut everything up for me, and I really recommend going to a butcher. Number one, it's a small artisan. They're here in our community doing some interesting work, starting with an entire whole product. But it's a small business, and I think that makes a difference in today's market. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I put everything in the freezer to get it nice and cold, even the grinder attachment, and now I'm going to start grinding, but I'm going to grind them separately because this is more meat than I need for my meatballs, and I'll freeze the rest. Okay, so let's see how this works. Another exciting day in the kitchen. Whew, let me rinse my hands really quickly. All right, so I'm going to put a bowl underneath it for the meat. And I don't know, it says to set it to speed 4 and then to start feeding the meat in and use this tamper to gently guide it, not to push it. I forgot, I unplugged it. All right. All right, so we're on speed 4 now, and we're gonna start with our beef. And I'm just gonna feed it in. Hopefully gently. Pieces will go in. Hopefully cut them in strips perfectly for me. And I see it's starting to come out. This is very exciting. I said I don't need to force the meat, I just need to let it do its own thing. And it'll just come out naturally. But I think I'm going to stop and use my knife to cut these a little smaller. They're just not fitting in there the way I want them to. So good thing I have a cutting board and a knife ready to go, just in case this happens. So I'm just going to give them a nice cut so that they'll fit into the grinder. I saw online that you could cut beef twice, you could run it through. I'm only going to do it once because I think I've got my perfect fat to meat ratio, and because I'm going to be mixing it with the pork, which only needs to grind 1 time. And I think this will go very smoothly once I get these nice cuts that I can just feed right in. Certainly, safety is going to be my #1 concern. It's a meat grinder. I mean, it feels like it could take my hand off if I'm not cautious about what I'm doing. The colder the meat, the better. So I had it in the freezer for about 45 minutes. And then what I'll do, we'll get this beef grinding, show you how that's going, and then I'll meet you back here once I've ground all the meat so that I can show you how I'm gonna make my meatballs. All right, I think we're good to go with our meat. Let's get the grinder back on, speed 4. Exciting. Hopefully I'll get to eat sometime tonight. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Well, I don't know. I mean, it says not to force it and to cut it into thin strips. I don't certainly want to have the machine working harder than it should be, but it's like it just woke up and said, all right, I'll cut some meat for you. All right, now we're grinding. And you see that? It's coming out, it's perfectly ribboned. It's nice to have those fatty pieces shooting out too, mixing it up perfectly for me. Because I'm not going to want to handle it a lot. Oh, well, that one's a sacrifice to a dog in the neighborhood. And so now you can see the meat is just coming through very smoothly. Must have had too thick, that first thick piece that I put in there kept it from being happy. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to pause, and then I'll put the video back on, and then I have a finished product for you. Alright, so I'm back now, and I've been doing a lot since I saw you last. First of all, I finished grinding up all the pork and all the beef. And I made freezer bags for the amount I'm not going to use, and I put the date on it. I also bagged up 2 portions of pasta in Ziploc bags so I can just pull them out. So I'm going to run those over to the freezer, and then I'll be right back. All right. The other thing I was working on while I was gone is a red sauce, a very classic, easy red sauce. I cut up yellow bell pepper and onions and garlic and half of a serrano pepper because I like a little bit of heat. I bloomed that with some Italian herbs in this frying pan and then added some canned tomatoes, and I'm just letting that do its thing because I'm going to make the meatballs, pop them in the oven, and then I'll nestle them in the sauce at the last minute when I'm getting ready to eat. So let me show you how I'm doing the meatballs. First of all, I'm adding all of my seasoning. I have about 1 pound of the pork and about 1 pound of the beef. So I'm going to put them together. And the key here is that I just don't want to touch them a lot. I want to leave them peacefully doing their own thing. But I want to add some things to it. So for example, garlic. I have 2 cloves here. This ingenious little tool from Sur La Table. I just put the clove of garlic right in this little tunnel. Sit it down here. Give it a quick little roll. And ta-da! The shell, skin has fallen right off the garlic. It's awesome! Just really takes the work out of some of the things, the more little tools that you put in your, this is a big one. It doesn't sound like it's coming loose. Nope. Alright, let me get them in there again. It's the trick. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around in the kitchen, playing with some new tools. Oh, now I hear it. You hear that sound? That's how I know it's doing its job. Blah! Everything just fell right out. So I got these 2 huge things of garlic. I'm going to cut them in half. And then I've got some onion because I think onion should be in a meatball. And I got a good amount. This is just an organic white onion. And I think fresh ingredients are always the best thing. I headed out to Sprouts, just like I went to the butcher to get fresh meat. I also went to Sprouts to get really fresh organic vegetables that I could have. And then I've got my serrano pepper. Cut him up a little bit. Get rid of these garlic shells. Goodbye. And I'll just rough chop some parsley because it's going all in the food processor. Now, I could have put these in the grinder with the meat when it was being ground, but I just kind of sticking to the things that I do know. I already have in the mini chopper over there my secret weapon. Some recipes call for milk, which one we'll put a little milk in. Some recipes call for buttermilk. I'm not a huge fan of that flavor, but I think that it's very, imparts a really nice flavor. For me, I put in yogurt, which is what you would traditionally do in Indian food to kind of soften it up and tenderize it. All right, I lost a half a garlic and he has to go in there, so I'm gonna go wash them off and throw them in. So a mini chopper is just the easiest thing to have because it does all of the work for you. And voila! So now I know that I have everything nice and uniform. I have a couple pieces of onion that didn't make it in. I have a couple pieces of parsley. I'll give them a quick little chop and throw them in. But now I know I've brought some uniformity. And because this is really a hand job, and I mean that non-sexually, because I don't know why. I worked with teenagers for too long where everything is funny. You just use your hands with everything because it's gonna get messy. It's just gonna be messy. All right, so now I'm gonna add to that some Parmesan cheese. I guess I should wash this hand. Oh, taste it first. Wow, garlic, nice garlic flavor. All right, we're gonna add some Parmesan. Fresh, nice fresh Parmesan, just a big old wonkin' handful. 1 egg, I'm not gonna even beat it. I'm just gonna pop it right in there because it'll help bind a little bit. I'm not much of a measurer these days because I just think you know what you know. So I'm adding some panko breadcrumbs just to kind of coat the top with my eyeballs. And then I can add more or less of anything as I go along. So I know I already have a hot pepper in there. Now I've added some Italian seasoning. And we're gonna start just minimally handling. Oh, let me get this last little diced bit in there. I hate to waste any one little thing. So cooking is really all about using your senses and knowing how things behave, how they behave the more you manipulate them, the less, what the ratio should feel like. There's a comfort that comes from the right feeling. So for example, when you make shortbread, when you're mixing it by hand, there's like a little bit of a sandy texture, which means you've broken down the butter into the flour at this perfect little crumbly ratio so that while it bakes, it gets nice and brown and tasty. And it's only with practice that you know exactly what that looks like. All right, so I have handled this as much as I care to. I'm just going to give it a final couple of turns. You may have noticed I didn't add one thing to it yet, salt. I'm being mindful about salt because I enjoy it so much, but food needs salt. So what I'm gonna do is form the meatballs. We're gonna bake these, and then I'm gonna sprinkle them with salt. I know this is a big no-no, but I think it's the right step for me right now to reduce my salt and have a little bit more control. Plus, there's a lot of salt in that marinara I made over there. I salted the vegetables when they went into the pan. So you try and make them even. I'm trying not to handle them too much. You really don't want this meat to get so pressed but you definitely want it to stay together. But that's where the egg and the breadcrumbs come in hand. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven at 375. I'm gonna get a pot of water boiling for my pasta, and then hopefully by the time I finish this, well, it's already 9 o'clock. At some point, I'll have some dinner today. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Talkie, talkie. All right, I'm back, and I think we're at the grand finale now. The meatballs are out of the oven, and I've made the pasta. I've just been scooping a couple of meatballs to sit in my sauce a little bit. And I did add salt to them before I put them in the oven, so they are nice and salty. I also, I can do this, I'm in my own kitchen, rolled up some meatballs as well in parchment paper. You see how and I'll be able to put them in the freezer in a package I labeled Meatballs with today's date, January 7th, so that if you stop by to visit me, I'm able to just whip this out of my freezer and have a wonderful snack for you ready to go with fresh pasta and with meatballs. So I'll press the air out of that. Oh goodness, I hear Cardi B in the back. All right, so we have our fresh pasta. All right, and we have our sauce with our beautiful meatballs, yellow peppers, and some onions. I'll just ladle some right on top here. I think I'm a 2 meatball person right now because it's so late. Oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. All right, and of course, a little crushed red pepper because that's what I like. And a little fresh black pepper because that's also what I like. And that's how Cardi B likes it like that too. All right, and of course some fresh Parmesan cheese. All right, so should we taste it? All right, it's been an exciting day in the kitchen. I've been playing with all of these new tools that I have and creating a new experience in the kitchen. So let's see how it turned out. First, we'll try the pasta with a little bit of the marinara. Oh, I never made pasta before, but it's exciting to see what's gonna come out of this. Oh my goodness. I'm ruined. I'm never gonna be able to just eat regular pasta again. Oh my God, the pasta is so light. I cooked it perfectly in some really, really salty water. I remember Amberelle said, make it taste like the ocean. So now I'm just trying to get a little bit of pasta without. It's perfect. But let's get into one of these meatballs. That'll be the real test with if it's worth it to grind your own meat. Oh my goodness. All right. The good news is it's 10 o'clock at night and I finally get to eat. But the best news is I have meatballs to go in the freezer and I have pasta ready to go. So hopefully one day when you're here we can taste this together. Thanks for being with me. Mwah.